We're going to go again tonight on both social media's websites. Right now, you've just logged on to YouTube. And if you'd like, you can go to YouTube and check and see how our pictures coming in. What we're going to do now that we have YouTube is we're going to go and get our neighbors. Go and get our people from Facebook. Those that are on Facebook. And see if we can get them to join in with us tonight. So let's go now. See if we can grab our people on Facebook. As I press the button, and so we're going to go for a ride again tonight. It says ended, so let's go back again. It says ended. We're going to go on Facebook. We're going to do this all together as a family. The whole nation. Here we are again. Another attempt. And it looks like we may be live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So, that said, now that we are here again today, another week, another very important message to present to this planet. And with that said, I'm going to start as we always do by saying Shalom is here that brought with me heaven.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Once again, Shalom is here.
That's right. This is.
That brought with me heaven. That is filled with shalom. And that's meant for only my people, the children of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Shalom, which is the most powerful knowledge of peace and wisdom in existence.
That's right.
Notwithstanding, however, I also greet all of the nations on this planet tonight with the greeting that Satan, the serpent, has now taught and ruined this planet with his knowledge of good and evil, even as he continues to go upon his belly and eat the dust of my mouth. Remember, see, you never knew this. I was formed of the dust of the ground. And Mount Ab cursed Halel to go on his belly on the ground and eat of the dust of the ground all the days of his life. From that time till now has Halel been on his belly eating of the dust of the ground. That's according to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 14, should you care to make a note and read it in your King James Version Holy Bible. All the while he was on his belly, over 6,000 years, he was forced to eat the dust of my mouth. From that time till now, all the days of his life, according to, again, Genesis chapter 3. You notice Genesis chapter 3, verse 14 of your King James Version Holy Bible. And because he did that, that brought that greatness of his soul very low. Very low. Remember, the ground, very low. even from the beginning, as he has now invited all that comes in his presence to join him in his lowliness of hell. And he do so and did so by telling you to say, hello. Hello. Which is his greeting of hell by his name. Hey, Lel. Hey, Yud Lamet Lamet. Reference Strong's H 1966. Look it up. That's his name. Hellel, it's celestial. And now, after all these years, there are at least 193 nations on this planet that are greeting one another with hell. And why you think I said I brought with me heaven? Because the nations of this planet have been living under hell. 193, which includes the 44 nations of Europe, the 54 countries of Africa, the 48 countries of Asia, the 33 countries in Latin America, and the 14 independent nations of Australia. And all 193 of those nations are united with one another and are registered in New York, where hell is also one of their employers, bar none, the United States of the United Nations. Hellel, does he not have a business in New York? He also came out of the womb in New York, in Queens, hospital in Queens, on June 14th, 1946, a Wednesday morning. Nevertheless, no matter if you're being greeted with shalom, peace, or with hell, that is, of course, lower today than it was yesterday. Hell is even lower this week than last week. It's even lower this month than last month. And you know it's lower this year than last year. Hell, lower. Hell, lower. Hell, lower. But I would personally like to welcome all of you and you to the End Gathering. That's the THENEND Gathering. GATHERING. Here we are at the End Gathering. As promised. It was promised to Yehuda, the fourth son of Yaakov, in a book called Genesis, the same book. In the last days, that when Shiloh come, begin at verse 8 of Genesis chapter 49, begin at verse 8, it was promised to the fourth son that in the last days, when Shiloh come, unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Now the people were summoned by Mount Og, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. They were summoned and they were invited to be resurrected. Beginning in the year recorded is 1979, I was there. In a little old suburb in a city of Miami, of Florida, that's called Brownsville, in a community center where he started his Wednesday night Bible classes. And here we are, 41 years later, in the same suburb as it was in the beginning, so as it is at the end, called Brownsville, in Miami of Florida. And then to Shiloh, the gathering of people have begun. As Mount Og already repeated, he only invited and summoned Yehuda to come to him to be resurrected. Free invitations. They didn't have to pay anything. The only thing they had to pay, as I asked you to pay, the only thing that we're going to ask you to pay during our sessions is attention. We only ask that you pay attention. That's all that he asks. Pay attention. They took it upon themselves to give offerings. They thought were tithes, offerings. They thought was money, filthy lucre. But we accepted what they gave because that enabled us and enabled Mount Arab to create a $250 million empire. And he put the money to use, not for himself, but for his children. As he even sacrificed himself for his children, as well as he did for his anointed. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Nevertheless, I'm welcoming you to end gathering numbered as 7. This is number 7. Already perfect. Just as the law of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is perfect. Converting the soul. So you come into this perfection and your soul will be converted. As we give you this testimony tonight, that is sure and making wise the simple. The most powerful knowledge of wisdom in existence. And for the record, this is being recorded. We are on both Facebook's live stream. We're also on social media's YouTube. And it's being recorded, just for the record, for those who may want to research this to find out if I'm alive or dead. I'm going to make that announcement and remind them who I am in a moment. So just so they won't think that they're watching, looking at a ghost, a spirit, as I invite those who come before me to feel me, handle me, touch me, and see. For a spirit has not flesh and bones as you see me have. It is I. So for the record, this evening is also known as Wednesday evening, May 6, 2020. And we're now at sundown. Of course, there's the Gregorian calendar. Although this is also, today is the 28th day of the second month of our calendar, our solar calendar, and solar year recorded 6,023. That's 2 more days, 2 more sundowns, and we'll be at day 30 of the second month already. But this is the 28th day of our second month of our solar year, 6,023. That's Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh's calendar. That's for the record, which they have taken it upon themselves to recognize this sundown as Wednesday, May 6th. Nevertheless, at this sundown, we are also facing another fulfillment of prophecy. And that's connected to Mem. Mem, the Elohim of water, and the ruler of the English's numeric known as 13. Mem. Mem is also known as the 13th Hebrew symbol of the Celestial Lodge. Mem. Also keep it in mind that the Hebrew symbol Mem created their English's alphabet known as M. And I'm going to show you in a moment that Mount Arab, when he created Mem in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, he made Mem a lesser light. And I'd like for someone to show me the word moon in Genesis chapter 1. Show it to me. I invite you to show it to me. You can look at your concordance. I could take a moment. Someone show me in your King James Version, speaking of King James Version, Holy Bible, take it out. You should have it in your possession already. All who are going to join us and remain in attendance with us tonight, take out your King James Version Holy Bible, your Strong's Concordance, take out your study tools. Make sure you take something to write with and something to write on. Take it out. Encyclopedias, dictionaries, take them out. Study tools. And when you do, go to your concordance and someone show me what verse I can find. They're now known as moon, M-O-O-N in English, in chapter 1 of Genesis. You have a verse? I see someone. By the way, we're also in Brownsville. As we are in Brownsville, we're at my house.
House of Mika.
The house of Mika that you will read about, or you will read of actually at Judges chapter 17. And in my house, I have several and many gods. Just as it reads, I have many gods. And these gods come from all over this country. I'm on their level as a God. You know, it's Elohim. But I'm speaking on many different levels.
Right.
So when you read Judges chapter 17, you read of the house of Mika, the man of Ephraim, raised by my mother, who was a widow. And as I was being raised by my mother, who was a widow, and my aunt came along in the 1990s and wrote a book of it called The Widow's Son Raised, wearing a suit, the last suit that he saw me in face to face on the second Wednesday of September, 1992. And they had no idea what book, why he was writing that book or what it means. If you read it, you may get a comprehension of what he was doing. I have no idea. With the same necktie on, black suit, and a handkerchief in my pocket. And he wrote of the widow's son that he raised. Raised is also a synonymous word for rise. I'm going to split your mind wide open tonight when you find out why he said he would rise on the third day.
Okay.
He didn't say he would rise on the third day, by the way. You thought he said that. He said, I shall rise. I'm going to go over it in a moment. No doubt about it, he said, I shall rise on the third day. And here my people, some of them still running around after 13 years, this sundown, looking for him to rise. Church-minded people. They're the ones who believe in the Easter rabbit, the Easter bunny, laying eggs, chocolate eggs too. You know, it's amazing that, you know, if we had a chicken, we raised chickens in our backyard. You know, Judah, we love chocolate. Judah loved chocolate. Now imagine if we had chickens or rabbits, raising them. You have some Hebrews that are doing that, raising chicken coop. And you fed the chicken anything other than grain and corn, like you fed it some chocolate candy. And then the chickens lay chocolate eggs. They got your mind believing that every March and April.
Yeah.
Some start as early as January. They're taking the Christmas ornaments down in January and then putting up Valentine's Day, more chocolate. And then when they take Valentine after February the 14th, then they start putting up Easter bunnies, rabbits laying eggs. That's what kind of minds our people have. They're looking for Mount Og to rise on the third day. Not even realizing that right now we're in the fourth day. Because I have already risen.
Praise you, Bob.
We're going to go into detail and explain that a little bit more into depth. But first, you must show me where it says moon. Oh, you thought I forgot? No one's coming forward. Genesis chapter 1, what's verse 37? Yeah.
37.
Let me repeat that because some may not have heard me. Am I being heard?
Yes, sir.
I'm not really reading comments on social media. They may be commenting, but I'm not reading them. My quest is at the moment for someone to turn to the book of the King James Version Bible, the very first book that's known world renowned as Genesis, chapter 1, and come and get $100 bill from me as simple as showing me the noun in English known as M-O-O-N, moon. And I'm not talking about Warren Moon as a football quarterback.
Not him.
Although Warren Moon is in there, but you won't see him as Moon. He's in the part that says grass.
Oh.
I didn't go over that yet, but I'm going to reveal it.
Yeah.
Did you find it? No. So what made you think that the lesser light in chapter 1 was the moon? Come on, explain it. Let's go. The lesser light was the symbol that was cut in half after Mem. By the English-speaking people. If you look very close at the symbol known as Mem, you're going to find 4 different symbols in that one. You're going to find Yod, Wab, Mem, and Nun in that symbol. And when you write it down, you write the capital M, write capital M, the 13th English alphabet on your sheet of paper, and take off the right leg. You'll be stuck with N. Try it. Write M and cut off the right one of those right legs, and you have N. Half of M. And then all of a sudden in English, you'll have M, the earth, the sun, and none. You think of the moon. You're stuck on the word moon. See, Mem is also the controller of 13, which is 1 and 3, and that's forward and backwards, known as 31, 3 and 1. And when that happens, it causes the sun to be turned into darkness and turn the moon into blood. Even before the great and terrible day of Yod Wav He, Bo, Beth Wab Aleph, Bo, that was promised by the Yo of Yod Wav He. Bo, we don't recognize the word C-O-M-E in English. The Hebrew word Bo, Beth Wab Aleph, means they took it to become come, C-O-M-E in English. Now, before some look at puzzle, before we explain this prophetical pronouncement in detail, please allow me to continue this benediction for another moment or so by saying once again tonight, just as I have been saying for the past 3 weeks, these are the final days of this world.
Praise your wow, praise your wow.
The final day, which is of their world, or should I say worlds. Not the last days of this planet, but the last days of their world. And again tonight, the question is the same. Why? They may want us to know why. And again tonight, the answer is because the ruler of this world was only given 6,000 years to rule this planet. That was granted by Yehoshua to Cain, who is the son of Hillel. And we have now identified who Hillel is. However, for those that did not hear of this great revelation, Hillel is also known in the Bible as Lucifer. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. And that title is found only once in the Bible. Only once. Again, that's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. And now with that reminder, again, take out your Bible for those who have just joined us. Take it out. You plan to join us, continue to join us during this broadcast tonight. Again, it's live off social medias, Facebooks and YouTube. Facebook and YouTube. It's being recorded. But you need your study tools so that way we can show you many facts that are found printed in the Bibles of the world today that text lots of truth, and also mixed with a few lies that have been redacted from the original and is now found printed today in English in your same Bible, King James Version. So grab your study tools. You could have sent them and found it too. But as I said, you're going to need your Bible to follow along with us because we have readers here at the round table, Angel's voice that you'll hear as always. We have recently as Sunday, as what? Monday. Obedience. Obedience is a virtue of reward. And we have been now joined with two more angels of such large with another midget angel. We have two full-grown angels, and they brought with them a midget angel called the grandson. In English.
Praise you, wow, hey. Praise you, glory, hey, wow, hey.
And I said many are called, but few are chosen. I didn't say how they would look, or how tall they would be, or how short they would be, how young or how old. I said many are called, but few are chosen. So here are the few, continuing to come. Obedience. And pretty soon, I'm telling you, we're not going to be able to come on live broadcast. We may not be able to even get on the cellular phones. It's coming.
Yep.
See that fourth angel? It's getting ready to pour that vial upon the sun. It's going to be a terrible heat, a heat wave that's going to last for months, long enough to burn up some people and cause heat strokes and death. They think this so-called COVID-19 is their worst invisible enemy. The worst invisible enemy that they're going to be facing soon is called heat, fire. But you still can see the waves of heat. You know, if you look in an oven, you can look at a match and see the waves of heat when it's lit. And then heat has a habit of causing you to hallucinate. You're going to they'd be thirsting for water like in the desert. They call it mirage.
Right.
You can look on the streets, it's going to be so hot. These asphalt streets in this country are going to look like swimming pools from a distance. You know how that looks from a distance? It's like, heat. Yeah, asphalt is so hot, it looks like a mirror from a distance. And you can even see the heat waves. And they have, in the past, it got so heat that some people fried an egg on the hood of their car. Sidewalk. Well, this time you're going to roast some beef. Or we're going to roast some beef. Beef this summer. Did I say beef? I didn't mean
Them too.
beef.
Them too.
Yeah, them too.
Yes, sir.
Well, with that said, once again, we'd like to welcome you to the end gathering of the nation of Yoruba Wafe. And that is ordained by our nation's motto. We have our own motto, our nation's motto, which is Echad Elohim, Echad Lebad, Echad Ahab, Wab, Echad Elilah in Hebrew. You got to learn that in Hebrew. Speaking of all those angels of my presence, the round table, you got to learn that. You have got to come out of the dialect of your slave masters, the Ing, the men of Ing, and women of Ing, E-N-G, that Ing land, the Geicos, the Geico round-eyed looking people, people like mankind, womankind, Ing. They taught you to speak their idiom, their language. You got to come out of that. Their language is full of tricks, trapping you right into their tricks. Whoever thought that by you saying, come, give me some, was a trick. Give me some. Come, home. What word is that? Echad Elohim, Echad Lebab, Echad Ahab Wab, Echad Elilah. And in English, it is known to all of those stiff-necked and rebellious children of Yodewave, those that refuse to come back to the city where Yodewave lived, where he chose to place his ineffable name here, and where the terrestrial body of Yodewave dwelt amongst us in the flesh, right here in this city called Miami of Florida, from 1979 to 1990. And then again, as he dwelt amongst us, free from behind the bars of prison, from September of 2001 to May 7th, 2007. Here we are sundown looking at May 7th, 2007. 13 years of that anniversary that he has now ascended, just as he planned to leave and ascend back into heaven to continue for prophecy to be fulfilled. To all those who was back there then, they only knew and know, still know our motto as in English: one God, one mind, one love, and one action. That's all they know. I repeat, this is our nation's motto. And our motto empowers our true identity as who we are. I don't know if you knew that. Our nation's motto identifies with power our true identity as who we are as a nation of Hebrew celestial beings. No one else knows or has that motto but us, especially in Hebrew. No one can say Echad Elohim, Echad Lebab, Echad Ahab Wab, Echad Elilah in Hebrew. Or in English, one God, one mind, one love, and one action. No one else does that. Because those words are empowered of our true identity, identifies who we are as Hebrew celestial beings, as both men and women. We even refer to one another as Hebrew brothers and sisters. And by doing so, that says that we are the only nation of what looks to other human beings and people around us like ordinary people, like an ordinary people, like they are. But do not make a mistake. We are not ordinary beings on this planet, even as we dwell on this planet. We are not ordinary. By facts, by facts and by truth, the Bible identifies us as angels. ANGELS. Hebrew angels. If these fools had the nerve I just learned today, that happened back in February of this year, up in Georgia. Shot an angel of the God of the Hebrews with a shotgun and a pistol and killed him for no reason. And you know why they did that? Because they went against what it says in Hebrews chapter 13. Someone turn to that. They forgot. Hebrews chapter 13. Someone turn to the book called Hebrews chapter 13 and read verses 1 and 2.
Let brotherly Ahab continue.
See? Read it on their level.
Yes, sir.
Because we're dealing with,
Yeah.
with niggas, devils,
All kind of detestable.
stupid people.
Right.
Peace.
Yeah.
Right.
Luciferians. You're dealing with fools.
Heathens.
Heathens. Just to name a few.
Just a few.
Read verse 1 again.
Come down to that level.
Let brotherly love continue.
Now, see, that's the last chapter of the book called Hebrews. Us, our book.
13.
The 13.
13.
See, 13 indicates the end. That's why this book only have 13 chapters. Because a lot is going to happen at the end of 13, in the last day. The 13th year that Mount Olive ascended into heaven.
Gotta have it.
On May 7, 2007. Here we are at 13. And as he ascends, as I reminded you, you are to let your brotherly love continue. Look at the last word. Continue. And why is that so important? Because they violated verse 2. What verse 2 says?
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers,
Why?
for thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
You got that?
Good. Gracious.
Some people on this planet are guilty of forgetting to entertain strangers, not realizing as they forgot they were actually entertaining angels of another planet that are of and from the Susalaj of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the God of the Hebrews. And by shooting my people and killing my angels, you forgot. You brought upon yourself a terrible end that's facing you right in your face today. I'm getting ready to pour out some heat. See, I'm not going to forget. You forgot to entertain my angels. They were strangers to you. But I'm not going to forget to entertain your souls. I'm going to entertain your souls with fire and burn it up, incinerate, like being cremated. They're not going to find your ashes because a strong wind's going to come along after me and blow them away, right back into the sea, right to the dust. You don't have to believe me. All you have to do is sit on the bus stop and wait. Just as you sat on a bus stop, sitting right next to an angel and had no idea it was an angel. You thought it was a stranger. You even rode by my angels in the street. You threw water balloons at them and rocks. You spit on them. You made them go to the colored water fountain. You made them go to the back of the restaurant to get a sandwich. You made them go to colored bathrooms. Some of them had to use a bathroom out in the bushes because you wouldn't even let them come into your house, your door, your restaurant, your movie theaters. They were good enough to clean it up, but they wasn't good enough to sit in it. They're called maids and butlers, janitors. They were good enough to sit in your offices on a machine to clean floors, but they're not good enough to sit in your office at a meeting. Back in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and 2020. Same thing. Nothing changed. But this is, do not forget to entertain strangers. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2. Do you not understand this mystery? I pray that you do by now. See, we are a nation of celestial beings that practices a celestial order and law. And that's during our presence, even in our absences, that proclaims that we are all for one
And one
and
for
one for all. And that our ahab, our love in Hebrews, see, ahab is love in English. You know in Hebrew as ahab. You know it as L-O-V-E. Each one of those letters will take you to hell. Beginning with the L of lust in English. But it's the same ahab that we have for our own people as well as among other things that we have for our own people and that we want for our own people. Even soup. If we have a bowl of soup, you may have half of our bowl of soup. And that's for all our neighbors, Hebrew brothers and sisters, ox and our coats that we want for ourselves. Isn't that true?
Yes,
Amen,
true.
my Lord.
And see, when we say our people, again, we are referring to a planet of beings that consists only and solely, S-O-U-L-Y, of the only Hebrew nation of Yud Wafeh in existence. And they consist of Yud, Sheen, Resh, Aleph, Yud, Wafeh, known as Yishra Yahweh. Yud, Sheen, Resh, Aleph, Yod, Wafeh, Yishra Yahweh. And the ruling tribe known as Yud, Hed, Wav, Dalet, Yud, Wafeh, Yehuda Yahweh. The children of Yud Wafeh. Judah, the ruling tribe, a black tribe of people, according to Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Read it. Judah's black. And all of Israel is black. All 12 tribes are black. Their own Ab, their God, their Father, is black. Elohim is black.
Yes, sir.
To the ground.
All the prophets were black.
To the ground.
You had the nerve to forget about them. Hang them on trees, burn them on stakes, cut the fetus out of the womb of a pregnant Hebrew angel. You forgot about that. You tied them next to the bumpers of your cars in Texas and drag them in this dirt road as if they were cans tied together in the back of a vehicle to make an announcement that someone just got married. Someone just got married, all right. We're going to give you a nice wedding reception. Or you're going to have a fabulous wedding reception. We're going to make you dance. Or you're going to dance this summer. That's why I'm encouraging you in June to just go outside and walk in the street for 1 block without shoes on. Just walk down the street without shoes on 1 block on asphalt and see if you don't dance. Create a new dance. Once again, I say Lala Tov, Lala Shalom to everyone from Shalom and Lechem. I'm your host. That's being called the Peace. The Man Peace is promised, a book called Micah, chapter 5. Someone turn to Micah chapter 5, read verse 5. As I also bring to your attention that we're joined with those two that came from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
The state called Indiana. Indianapolis. Home of the horses with the coats. Indiana. And we welcome them to heaven. Welcome to heaven. And they're no strangers to me. See, I hadn't forgotten. See, I didn't forget them to say strangers. Because I bet one of the two, if not both, I know I remember meeting one of the two way back in 1983. Yeah, way back in 1983, as my op sent me to the city to rescue it. I'm not going to go into detail. I wasn't even a paramedic, but I went and rescued it. No one died. He dialed 1-3. He didn't dial 911. My op didn't dial 911. He dialed 1-3. And there I went. So I'm your host of this ingathering. Read Micah chapter 5, verse 5, please, someone.
And this man shall be the peace.
See, it's in the Bible. Y'all, I pray you have your Bibles. I told you, every single word that comes out of my mouth is in the word. I'm just made flesh so you can see my mouth moving. See the words are moving out of my mouth, flesh. This man shall be called the peace. When what?
When the Assyrian shall come into our land.
And they in our land right now wear masks. Yeah, a lot of them are wearing masks today in our land. Think they're going to cover up from the plague. And what else is said? That's Malik reading. He come from Columbus, Ohio. Obedient. And what else?
And when he shall tread in our palaces,
Palaces.
then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men.
And we have those 7 shepherds, 8 principal men here today too. No one knew who they are. I just identified that. Yishra Yahweh, Yehuda Yahweh, along with a few others. So that's who that man is. That man, the peace. Shalom. This peace is shalom. You have shalom and shalom. Study it. You can look it up in concordance. It means the same. And Yoav also said, and he chuckled at the end of that broadcast, that they were airing called the Universe of Yahweh, Universe of Yahweh. And during the end of those programs, you always heard him chuckle. Finally, he said, I'm in the presence of those that love peace. I only want to be in the presence of those that love peace. Some recall him saying that before. Did you hear him say that? In that same recording, he said, I shall rise on the 3rd day. No doubt about it. Prophecy tells you that. I shall rise. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Needless to say, I'm also known in the book called Revelation by many appellations. Many. He wants me to do this again tonight. I'm not really stuck on, I'm doing what you say do. I don't like the spotlight. Because see, when there's a spotlight, then it takes away my light. There's no greater light than his light. So he put a greater light with a lesser light. We're going to read it in a moment. Genesis chapter 1. But I'm known by many appellations, a book called Revelation. For example, Adi Saba, Shal Yutawafe, Mem Yod Kaf Yutawafe, Wa, Ani Yahid, Sava, Shal Maim Yi, Yod Wafe, Gawi, Yushin Reshala Yod Wafe, Gawi, Yod Wafe, Gawi, Kidma, Shemahem, Yushi Reshala Yod Wafe, Ani Mem Sophie, Ani He, Reshidu, Malik, Ani He, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe, Bain, Reshid, Ani Gam, Ye, Kates, Asher Hu, Asher Haya, Asher Bo, Hey, Shalai, Gadol, Sar, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe, Shabbat Kabod, Baruch Hashem, Yod Het Wafe, Olam. That's Hebrew. Your original. You got to learn that again. You forgot. You forgot so much until now I got to say it in English. I got to. I am the host of Yod Wafe. Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe. And I'm only the host to my own people of Yod Wafe, the nation of Yishra Yahweh, the nation of Yod Wafe, of the east, of the heavens, Yishra Yahweh. I am Mem the first, and I'm also Mem Sophie the last. I am the chief angel. I am Mika Yahweh from the beginning, and I'm also here at the end, which is, and which was, and which is come, the Almighty, Great Prince, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe, Mika Yahweh. Glory, praises, honor, and blessed is the name, Yud Wafe Yahweh forever. Praise Lord.
Praise Lord.
That's what I said. And now with that said, and just to reiterate, we are now living and witnessing the end of this world. So if you are going to believe those government officials of this land, And we got to reopen our states and get the economy moving again. You might as well go to Disney World.
Yeah.
They're reopening Disney World up too.
Yeah.
About 28 states of Disney World,
Mm-hmm.
maybe more by now.
Mm-hmm.
And had you noticed that after opening up these states in Disney World, Walt Disney World, that more people have died now, it doubled?
Indeed.
You think you can save your economy, and you can't even save your own self. You cannot. They cannot do it. Going to the Pope. Go to your Pope. Maybe your Pope can save y'all. He's in hiding.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, your Pope is wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a mask. He doing what? Drinking Corona?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's drinking Corona.
Mm-hmm.
But go to your Pope. You think he can save you? He's got to come to me anyway. On his knees. But these are the last days, and you're witnessing the end of this world. All of the signs of prophecy that was promised to occur are now being manifested in your sight.
Mm.
Now, here's another example and proof. Turn to 2 Timothy and read. Someone read beginning at verse 1. This is another proof and example of the end of this world. This was also promised. Now, if this is not happening, then you have nothing to worry about. You're going to read beginning at verse 1 all the way down. I'll tell you when to stop. Probably to around verse 17. Okay, so we'll read that. That's again, that's 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy, that's 2. You want the second one, beginning at verse 1. And let's see what that
This know also,
what.
that in the last days perilous times shall come.
Now you got to stop for a moment. Someone got to look up perilous in your dictionary. Remember I told you to get your study too. Can someone look up perilous? And we have a great big dictionary here. Perilous in English. Perilous. Someone found it? Yeah. You can look it up on your computer. If you... Perilous. What you have? You have perilous. Okay.
Full of danger or
Oh,
risk.
oh my goodness! I'm gonna pass out. You said full of what?
Full of danger
Danger
or risk.
or risk. Like, you know, it's danger for you to go out now without a mask. They say it. Gloves. Or you be at your own risk. What else?
Exposed to an imminent risk of disaster or ruin.
Like what they call the COVID-19 now.
Mm-hmm.
And running into bullets
Right.
and crazy people with guns that wants to kill angels
Mm-hmm.
of the social law just because they are black skin and complexion. That's perilous. Anything else?
They give an example.
They give an example. What?
The economy is in a perilous
Whoa,
state.
hold it now.
That's a good example.
Look what he said. You heard what he said? The economy is what, like the Dow Jones is crashing, he was going negative, no more economy?
Mm-hmm.
Read that again, the economy what?
The economy is in a perilous state.
Like crashed. Like what they had in the 20s.
Yes.
What they called it?
Depression.
A Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard it today earlier too. We're in a depression.
Mm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're in a Great Depression.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because you're being led by the great
Yeah.
dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Every word he says is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can see someone get shot and killed And he'll say, well, that was a great killing. I saw him get shot. It was great. I saw all of it. And I saw him die right in his mother's arms. She had great arms, though. The mother had great arms. She was great looking, too. But he died. And all you want to film it, that's fake news.
Yep.
It's fake news. He didn't die. He's great. That's perilous. I think it's safe to say that these are the last days.
Yes.
And this perilous times has now come.
Yes, sir.
Read verse 2, please. So thank you for that definition. Look again. Read verse 2, please. For what?
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
You got that right. We got to be here. What else?
Covetous,
Uh-huh.
boasters,
Yeah.
proud,
What?
blasphemers,
Don't say the next one. I'm afraid to.
disobedient
To who?
to parents,
Good gracious. And what?
unthankful,
Unthankful,
unholy,
unholy. Read on, verse 3.
without natural affection.
No, because they go
No,
into
no.
one another. Men laying with men, women laying with women. Natural affection. Who else?
Truce breakers,
Who else?
false accusers,
That's a big one. Uh-huh.
incontinent,
Incontent. Incontinent. Yeah.
fierce despisers of those that are good,
What? You mean you can't walk around and be good anymore? Or they will be fierce despisers. You can't even walk around these days and be good. Verse 4.
traitors,
What? And who else?
heady,
Heady-minded, big-minded. High-minded, next one.
high-minded,
Yeah.
lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Elohim.
What? Go out and play golf on Sunday. Is that supposed to be that Sabbath? Verse 5.
Having a form of godliness,
Only the form.
but denying the power thereof.
So when you come across these people and you want to stay holy, and you want to stay as a hob of your arm, then what you should do?
From such turn away.
Got that right. Read verse 6. That's a commandment. Read verse 6, please.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses,
What? They come creeping in. They'll even sit right by you, right in front of you. And do what?
and lead captive silly women laden
Yes.
with sins.
Oh, we experienced that. We bear witness.
Witness.
And then they what?
Led away with divers lusts,
You got that right. Verse 7.
ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
You just read never in that verse. Never.
Never able.
These next two names in verse 8 that begin with J represents Judah. Both of them. Read it, verse 8.
Now is Janus and Jambres withstood Moses.
See, those are those hard-headed ones again. So do what?
So do these also resist the truth.
So you know there was no such people as that back in the days of Moshe. It's allegories that represents Israel and Judah.
Men of corrupt minds,
Wow.
reprobate concerning the faith,
Read on verse 9.
but they shall proceed no further.
Excuse me? They shall what?
Proceed no further.
Why?
For their folly shall be manifest unto all men,
Uh-huh.
as theirs also was.
Wow. It's promise. Verse 10.
But thou hast fully known my doctrine,
Yes, now we're speaking to ye. And because you did that, what?
manner of life,
What else?
purpose,
Uh-huh.
faith, long suffering, charity, patience,
What else?
persecutions,
That's right.
afflictions, which came unto me at
Now
Antioch,
see, that's A is for America.
Mm.
Go ahead.
at Iconium,
Uh-huh.
at Lystra,
All of this is this land that you're in now. It's slavery and bondage. What else?
what persecutions I endured.
You endured them. See, you are enduring them now too. But what?
But out of them all, Elohim delivered
You
me.
got that right.
Praise God.
You got to endure. And read verse 12 to see who it is.
Yeah. And all that will live godly
Uh,
in Mashiach, Mem Yokaf Yohewave,
shall do what?
shall suffer persecution.
Because of you coming to me. They don't like that. So they want you to suffer persecution. And you'll be persecuted by them. But here comes Mem. In verse 13.
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being
They're
deceived.
going to be deceiving their own selves. After the great light becomes lesser in verse 14, read verse 14.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of,
Right. Nor what?
knowing of whom thou hast learned them,
Verse 15.
and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures,
From a child, and you did. You just be reminded of that. Which are what?
which are able to make thee wise
Wise.
unto salvation,
And unto salvation. Through who?
through faith which is in Mashiach, Mem Yokaf Yohewave.
And so much until he guides you into what? Verse 16. How much?
All scripture
Is given by what?
is given by inspiration of Elohim,
Yod-Heh-Wav. And is what?
and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instructions in righteousness.
Right. That what in verse 17?
That the man of Elohim may be perfect,
Wow.
thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
You bearing witness. So are you doing yourselves that you are fulfilling this on the moral side. The moral side.
Yes, sir.
And because you're doing that, your own people, even family members, hate you and are persecuting you and ye for doing that.
Yes, sir.
Constantly.
Now, with this constantly. Now, with that said, let's go back for a moment and repeat part of what my soul said a few moments ago in Hebrew and then in English, which was Ani Mem Sofi, Ani He Reshith Melech, Ani He Mem Yod Kaf Wafe, Baye Reshith, Ani Gam Ye Kates, Asher Hu, Asher Haya, Asher Bo, Hey Sharai, Gadol Sad Mem Yod Kaf Wafe. That's Hebrew. Again, in English, I said, I am Mem, the first, and I'm also Mem Sophie, the last. I am the chief angel. I am Mem Yod Kaf Wafe, Mika Yahweh, from the beginning. And I'm also here at the end, which is, and which was, and which is come, both. Come, the almighty great prince, Mem Yod Kaf Wafe, Mika Yahweh. Praise the Lord. That's what I said.
Praise the Lord.
So now here's the question. What is the first? You said Mem. Right? So how did Mem become the first? How did I become the first? Although that leaves you in a big blank. Because I didn't identify with first. The first what? The first what? The word what? The first word.
Word. Not down.
I became the first word. But I'm saying, let there be. Then I became the first word. Turn to Genesis chapter 1. Let's show you that. We hadn't gone over this in detail. We go over it every now and then. But let's break it down. Every time we go over it, you see more. Mount Ob came here in 1979 in Miami to Brownsville, and he started teaching us in that same little community center. One night, or one Shabbat, he began to teach us this verse. And from that day to right now tonight, he only got as far as I N. He ascended on May 7, 2007, and still hadn't completed just the first word, N. Not to mention the beginning. So read that first verse, please. Let's see if we can try and pick up where he left off.
In the beginning,
Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh created the heaven and the earth.
Notice that there's one heaven and one earth. Singular. Read verse 2, please.
And the earth was without form
Now
and
see,
void.
now see, the first thing you think about, because you were taught by the slave masters, is that this earth is a structure. You think it's a planet. But this earth is not a structure. This earth that he created brought about the ear. It was the beginning of the head. The ear, in English, the ear of the first hay of the heaven, the hay. Look at it, E-A-R-T-H, 2 vowels beginning with the word. And the R makes it the ear. You got it? But what good is an ear without the head, the rest of the anatomy of the head? That's why it was without form. See, that's the ear of the head, the TH. You think it's earth. That's why the ear of the head was without form and void, because it couldn't even hear yet. That's why they stopped the I, put a D there, because it had no CE. Couldn't hear the voice. It's void. You got VOID. Dumb. Dead. No CE. Couldn't hear our voice. Couldn't hear it. And so much until what? And what?
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Now that he's got a face. Now he creating a face. Darkness, though. The face couldn't even see. Of the deep. I mean, in a deep sleep. Deep. However, after a while, so you read this verse as if you can read it in 5 seconds and that's it. But you don't know what happened all between in this verse. In the interval of space and time. Although you're still in the first day. And what happened after the ear of the head was without form? Couldn't hear the voice because it was deaf. Darkness was in the face of the deep. And what happened? After all that, what happened? And what?
And the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh moved upon the face of the water.
See, the waters is more than just one symbol. I'm going to show you in a minute that was hidden in Revelation chapter 1. Waters. Because he had no voice yet. No voice. Not yet. Why would you think there's waters and he hadn't even created the waters yet? You're reading in verse 2. Read verse 3 and see.
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh said,
What?
let there be light.
See, that's the voice, the word. Be. Let there be light. And as this creation that he was making, the ear, the head, the eyes, the face, the voice became light. All of a sudden now he's creating them. And after there was light, we said in verse 4.
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh saw the light.
See, don't you, comma, hold it now. You got to look at this. How could Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh saw the light as if it don't exist anymore? How come it didn't read he see the light? Because all you see is saw. You don't see what was hidden in this verse that was taken over to John chapter 1, verse 1. You got to look at this not as SAW. You got to look at it backwards as WAS. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. The Word was Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
So,
All you see is saw, as if Ob turned blind and can't see it no more. That's what they got you seeing. That it was good. Really? No, the saw. He also saw good. See how they got it backwards?
Mm.
They got saw, then they got was to confuse your mind. How could light be was? How could the light was good? It's not good anymore? You can't, you mean that this light that we have today is no more good? They switch it around to confuse your mind. Switch it around to confuse your mind. And then they divided you after they did that. They divided what? The light from the darkness. And so much until you can't even see in the dark with the light. You turn light on in the dark and you still can't see. And verse 5 say what?
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh called the light day,
Mm-hmm.
and the darkness he called night.
You see day, but I see Yod
Mm.
for life.
Mm.
And Yahweh called the light life. Look up YAD backward. See what you get in Hebrew. In the darkness he called what?
The darkness he called night.
Really? Where did I come from? How come you can't have Nun and Gimel with Hay and Tar? Why you think it's night? Did he really call it that? I told you verse 5. You're still dealing with what? And the evening is what?
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
See, our days begin at sundown. It becomes both the evening and the morning for the first day. In verse 6, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh said what?
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters,
Uh-huh.
and let it divide the waters from the water.
Don't you see something's wrong with that? You thinking waters are rivers, the sea, the rain? I can take you to Revelation and show you in chapter 17 that these waters are people and nations and tongues. I'm going to show you in a minute again. Verse 7.
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so.
Now, all you have to do is study firmament. That's all you'll see. You can't see this is a firm man. From those, this is a firm man from the waters which were above the firm man. From those that are below the firm man. Under the firm man. That's all you saw. Firm amen too. Ye, the angels. And when we get down to verse 26, you see, obviously, that's creative in our image. You also be informed here and created. And I'm going to prove it. You're going to prove it in a minute. All you see is a firmament. Firmament. Look at verse 8.
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh called the firmament heaven.
See, you call all these firm men heaven, which is in your mind. Right? And the evening and the morning were again the second day. That means you are the second group of people that came. The first was all up to head, verse 5. Now here you are the second waters of the men of firm. The firm are men. We had to hide it because Satan would get a hold to it and think they would destroy you.
Right.
So we made them think that they were reading of biology and biography when it comes to the animals,
Wow.
even anthropology. Read verse 9, please.
And Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place.
See, now you know something's wrong with that. How could all the waters on this planet, all the oceans, be gathered together in one place? But here you are tonight, together in one place with me.
Praise you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Here you are in one place. And let the what?
And let the dry land
And
appear.
they're out there dry. Won't come in here to this water and drink of the thirst. If you thirst, drink of me. If you're thirsty, come drink of me, my blood. Drink. And I will give you, If you thirst, I will give you the fountain of living waters. Drink.
Yeah.
And it was what?
And it was so.
That's right. Verse 10.
And Yodewabe called the dry land earth.
See, earth. It can still earth now. The ear of the head. And what?
And the gathering together of the waters called he seas.
Now can't you see? Seas. You know he ain't called it by this English name with all these vowels, these two vowels. But you also can take ease. See, seas, take ease. And what? And you already saw.
And Yodewabe saw that it was good.
What you mean was? Because he did it again to you. S-A-W, then W-A-S.
So,
What you mean was good? It's no good? It's not good anymore? When have you ever heard of seas literally not being good? Except during a hurricane, 20, 50 feet waves, 50 feet waves. But it's not that seas. So you sees that it was good. I mean, you were able to see at one time. See, that's multiple waters as of many waters. This same earth has a voice today. And Yodewabe created that voice of the earth to sound like these waters. Did you see it? I'll repeat.
hear it. Hear it.
There's multiple waters as in many waters, the same as a voice of the earth that has many waters. Turn to Revelation, read it. Chapter 1, verse 15. And these feet are not his feet. These feet are the feet of the same seas. It also has ears in heaven. Revelation chapter 1, verse 15. That says what?
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
See the unto? Remember, we went over unto now. You should know the mystery of unto. That means, I see unto means, don't think that these feet are like the feet of your body. But these feet, the fine brass represents ye as brass, the people. These feet are ye, the people. You can look it up, write the word down, and look over your course. When you look up feet, even in the Greek theology of the Greeks, thesaurus, the lexicon, you find it said that these feet are the disciples of the Christ at his feet. You can look it up. We did that before, but you can look up on your own. As if they burned in the furnace. Why burned in the furnace? Because they go into the furnace of affliction. Right now, the third part of them, bring it to the fire of affliction. According to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. To be refined as silver is refined, and tried as gold is tried. You are not going to a fiery furnace. Look around you and go to Walmart and see if you can walk in there without a mask. And see if it's not a perilous times. You're being burned in the furnace right now. Some literally going to be burned in the furnace this summer. And the same one has his voice was what? His voice as.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Many waters. You the people, you the waters. That means also it's a bass, a baritone. Yes, a baritone of voices of people. Now back to Genesis chapter 1. Read verse 11. Verse 11, 12. Read 11, 12, and 13. I should have told you to put a marker there.
And Yodewabe said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
Praise the Lord for you.
Praise the Lord.
You think this is grass that you cut. This is the same grass that's in the book called Yirmiyahu, Ezekiel, and in Leviticus. You think it's grass. How could a grass, how could the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, and not its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Also, you have his kind. Read verse 12 and get some more.
And the earth brought forth grass.
This man with the ear, who is now here on the planet, brought forth grass. Even those who are green, grass. Green grass and great ass, the same thing, the asses. It's all here. And herb getting what?
And herb yielding seed after his kind.
After his kind. And who else?
And the tree yielding fruit, whose seed
was in itself.
In itself.
After his kind. And what else?
And Yodewave saw that it was good.
Here we go again. Saw and was. Or it should be Yodewave was, that is, it was saw good. Backwards. Read verse 13 as a mem.
And the evening and the morning were the third day.
Right. I want you to notice that this verse 13 only announced what took place in verse 12. It's just telling you verse 12. Remember verse 12. But verse 13 is not really a verse. It's a conductor of 12, of the other 12 tribes of Israel.
Wow.
The conductor. It's only telling you what happened. See, Mount Ab promised, and again, I make the announcement, I also identify who Mount Ab is by photograph for those who never met him. And I always have him over my left shoulder to the right of the screen. A photograph that he took, enlarged, of course, when he was here with us in the flesh in his 40s to mid 50s. He came to us when he was 45 years old, or young, in that body. And this photograph he took, I believe, was his early 50s. But he took. And our people, our hard-headed people, are still looking at this photograph as if he is the same way today in that photograph. Not realizing if they even take one of their relatives who's going to be turning, and that, like 84 years old, right? 1935 to 2000, it's like 86, 84, what, 80s? 85. 85. Had he been here today with us in the flesh, that body that he created would be looking like 85 years old in October. Not like the photograph in back of me. It's not a play. It's not Dolly House. It's not church. They think this is church. Yeah, it's not. But that's one of the photographs he took of several while he was with us here in the flesh. And his name is affixed right to that same photograph. Created by 3 Hebrew characters. One of the 3 positioned twice, from right to left. Yod He, Wav He. It's pronounced Yod He, Wav He. Yeah. Not Hey. We went over that. I want to correct all those who are joining us tonight. His name is ineffable, from right to left. Yod He, Wav He. Not Hey. Horses eat hay. It's not H. It's not in English when you spell the 5th Hebrew alphabet in English. You don't spell it H-A-Y. It's H-E-Y. He. Yod He. Wav He. Not no Wav. There's no V. I'm teaching those online. I know I'm even teaching the devil because they're watching too. It doesn't matter if they call his name. You won't hear them. You only hear his children. You can call and you can say he'll hear me, but you don't know how to be called. You don't know how to call him. Right. So you got to know that song. He gonna hear you singing. Right. So all of us can call him. When we start singing that song that he gave me back in 2013, so then he'll hear us. We gotta sing that song properly. He'll hear us. He hears us now. Praise Yahweh.
Praise
Yahweh.
But this 13, verse 13 in Genesis chapter 1, that identifies verse 12. He promised, promised that he said, and I quote in those recordings, I shall rise on the third day. So he promised that I would rise on the third day. Did he? He said at the end of the program, I shall rise on the third day. And that I is here. Here I am. Well, here I am. Or did you not know that there are two eyes? You know that. Some don't know that. There are two eyes. Don't you have two eyes? No matter if you wear glasses, eyeglasses, if you lost an eye, you were born with two eyes unless you were deformed, like a devil, like the devils, you're deformed. Some are born with tails.
I bear witness.
Yeah, that's devils are born with tails. Genetic. But you have two eyes. And some people didn't know that. Two eyes. Go to Isaiah chapter 43. We went over that. Let's just go over that briefly. Isaiah chapter 43 and read verses 10 and 11 again tonight, like we did last week. Starting at verse 10.
Ye are my witnesses, saith
Yod-Heh-Wah.
Yod-Heh-Wah,
Uh-huh.
and my servant whom I have chosen,
Mhm.
that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no Elohim formed, neither shall there be after me.
Now, we went over that last week. They can get a recording
And
and look at that and listen to it and watch it again. And we realized that in Strong's Concordance in reference 4310, it identified who Mem Yod Me is. All right? Now, there's a reason why they segmented this to be read in verse 10 in Isaiah chapter 43 for that reason. They want you to know who me is, Mem Yod. That you must believe me. You must believe Mem Yod. And understand that I am he. And before Mem Yod, there was no God formed in the garden. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Neither shall there be after Mem Yod. Now you're going to read verse 11, and that's why, now you'll see why they put it in verse 1:1. See, in verse 10, it identifies Mem Yod, but in verse 1:1, it identifies both, the Father and the Son. Don't you see it? Why do you think it's in verse 11? You think it's 11. That's 1:1. Read it.
I, even I, am
Yod-Heh-Wah.
Yod-Heh-Wah,
Uh-huh.
and besides me
And
there is no
See, he
Savior.
even identifies Mem Yod right there. Beside Mem Yod, there is no Savior. You think it's me. And they knew it when they translated this from Hebraic into English. Because had it been something different that they wanted them to know, they would have put a capital M opposed to a lowercase m. Oh, they would have told Robert Barker to get your uppercase letter and put a capital or a little higher uppercase M there with E. But this is telling you who Mem Yod is. The Savior. Let's prove it. Go to Deuteronomy now. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Let's prove it. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Read verse 39. They know with two eyes. I, even I.
See now that I,
See now. That I. It's come again.
even I,
Don't you comprehend what that means? You went to school. There's a comma. Even I am he. Go ahead.
and there is no Elohim with
Now,
me.
we went over this also last week, and we know that no God. We know we proved that that the word God. That's why we say God, because all of you are gods, all of you Elohims. Now you have an introduction. After me, there's a colon, right? Okay. Now, this first colon, after the first colon, this first I is one who can kill. And then the second one is one who can make alive. Your God can make alive. I mean, that's another one who can kill. And then there's what? And I what? I wound. Now your God wounds. And there's another one who can heal. His wings. But you see there's a colon there too?
Okay, my Lord.
And what else? It says, neither what?
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Out of my mem yod hand. My hand. It did not read M-I-N-E. It read M-Y for mem yod. My hand. Mem yod and mem yod is the same. They put an E. They just changed the E and put a Y. Same thing. And if you reference Strong's H4310, you'll find it M-I-Y. Pronounced me. But here are those two I's again. In Deuteronomy 32:39, I, even I, as in both, B-O-T-H. Read verse 40, Malik. Same chapter. Read verse 40. And this will go with Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. What?
For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever.
That is not the Father who did that. Why would the Father lift up his hand towards himself?
Don't make no sense.
But this is saying that I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. Your God is not bound to forever. He's infinity. He comes from everlasting. He comes from forever. How could he be bound to forever and forever met him?
Forever be God.
Forever met your waiting on him, going on him. He comes for here's your He comes forever. Meeting your God. And he said, what took you so long? Forever.
Yeah, right.
And now they use it as a slang communication, the word is slang. I mean, it's like it's taking him forever to get here. This verse is also telling you that someone says, I live forever. Now turn back to Revelation chapter 1. When you read that a moment ago in verse 15, you stopped at verse 15, right? We just read Revelation chapter 1 verse 15. Now I would like for you to continue and read verses 16, 17, and 18. Let's see if we can connect that together with Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 40. See, you didn't even see it, 40. Like the number value of Mem. The number value of Mem is 40. They tell you right there who it is.
All day.
Read verses 16, 17, and 18, please. Revelation chapter 1.
And he had in his right hand 7 stars,
Mm-hmm.
and out of his mouth with a sharp two-edged sword.
That hand, he has something in his hand? There's 7 stars and 7 scrolls. Today, you know it's a book called Micah.
Sure enough.
Goodness gracious.
7 chapters. And out of those 7 chapters, when he speaks of those 7 chapters, his mouth becomes a sharp two-edged sword. And his what? His countenance.
And his countenance was as the sun,
As the sun.
shineth in his strength.
Yes, now you know who it is. The greater light, too.
Yes.
And what did Yohanan do? What did you saw? What did you do?
And when I saw him,
What you did?
I fell at his feet as dead.
Right, because he didn't even know.
No idea.
You know, he saw, but wow,
What was that?
had no idea who. But I saw.
Right.
And then when he saw, and Yohanan was on the ground,
Right.
get up. He lays what?
And he laid his right hand upon me.
Now see, that's a good thing. Had he laid his left hand upon Yohanan, he would have left him.
Yeah. That.
But he did not want to leave Yohanan behind.
Mm.
That's why Ben Yohanan is here today.
Praise God.
Because he's right.
You made it, baby.
Yes. And when he laid his right hand upon Yohanan, said unto, what he said,
saying unto me,
fear not, I am the first and the last. I am Mem and I'm Memsophi. I am he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore.
Praise.
I'm also here with Amen.
Wow.
I am here with Amen. Don't you see it?
Amen. Amen.
Huh? The man
Yeah, the tabernacle. We
of tabernacles.
Yes, we found you.
I am the tabernacle of Yodewafe
With men.
with men.
Here we are.
I had to say that. You were not supposed to read that. I had to say that.
Right.
thank you.
Love it.
Praise the Wafe.
Praise
Got it.
Now, I would like for you to. It was promised that I would be here, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Told her for that.
Tonight we just revealed, we just spoke again how Yochanan by that right hand is so important. Not only that, I have the keys of hell and of death. Did you hear it?
Good gracious.
Yes, sir.
When your Ab was here, he did not reveal or disclose who Donald Trump was.
Because it wasn't time. Couldn't bear it.
Why? Because he gave me the key.
Of course. Of you. Of you.
He gave me the key to both that became keys. Kaf, Yod. When you put Kaf together with Yod from right to left, you get key. So he gave me two keys. The first key he gave me back then, and now I have the last key. Would you see it say first and last?
Yes, sir.
That means I have the keys of Hillel. That means identify who Hillel is.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the same as death. And he's also the great dragon, but he's also death. Right here.
Right.
So that's the key. It didn't say, I did not see in my Bible the keys to hell. You have the keys too? If in your Bible you have the keys to hell and to death, then go take your Bible back to Cecil again. Remember Cecil? He printed that Bible in the garage, his garage. It's no good. It's the keys of hell and of death. And the last enemy that I'm going to destroy
That
is death. This means that both of us are one. Keys. And I and my Ab are one. As in John chapter 10, verse 30. See that we still on both. Go to Micah chapter 5. You read that earlier, but this time read verses 7 and 8. Remember the man peace in verse 5? Read what's going to happen in verse 7 to the remnant of Yaakov in the last days.
You're in 7 and 8.
Micah chapter 5, verses 7 and 8.
And the remnant of Yaakov shall be in the midst of many people, as they do from Yodewabhe, as the showers upon the grass.
See, hold it. That showers upon the grass came from Genesis chapter 1. And he watered the whole face of the ground, in Genesis chapter 2, as he watered the whole face of the ground. These showers are waters of the same grass and the herb that you read. I'm going to break it down in a moment. These are people that tarrieth what? Not for what?
That tarrieth not for man,
Nor
waiteth for the sons of men.
now read verse 8.
And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles.
The remnant of Jacob is Yehuda today. who among the Gentiles in a land where all the Gentiles would be gathered together from all nations of Europe. And today they're called United States citizens or Americans, even in Canada. In the midst of many people, as what?
As a lion among the beasts of the forest.
See, that's the Gentiles. And that's Judah as a lion. And who else?
As a young lion among the flocks of sheep.
Now you come from Genesis chapter 49, and verses 8, 9, and 10. Who
Who?
who is not a question mark. Who is a person? See, who, if he go through, it's telling you who he is. Who is like Yod Wabe? Who is also created by Mem Yod? Who, if he go through what?
Both treadeth down.
See, both, there's both again. And if both tread down and go through the same thing that the first went through, then what's going to happen?
And teareth in pieces.
If that happens, then what happened?
And none can deliver.
None can deliver Yehuda. None can deliver the children of Yehuda. Both. The subject again, as a reminder, is both tonight.
Right.
Now someone go to Ezekiel and read chapter 34. Go to Ezekiel chapter 34. Both. As in easy for cough. Ezekiel.
Yeah, here we go.
Easy for cough, and I as the Elohim of the earth to decipher the books called Ezekiel and Revelation. Read verse 11, Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 11. There's 11 again. See, you don't wonder why it's in 11 as it was in Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 11. That's 1-1. You think it's a number. It's telling you who it is. 2, both. 1, 11.
Both.
Read it.
Got him.
Read it and see if I'm making it up.
Got him.
For thus said Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Right. God. See how that's Elohim. You see how that?
Elohim.
Yeah. Behold what?
I, even I.
It's the same thing you read in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. 32, 39, and Isaiah chapter 43, verse 11. I, even I, will what?
Will both search
Both.
my sheep
Both. Search my sheep. And do what?
and seek them out.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
See, we just revealed again tonight that there are two. By the power of their word, both. B-O-T-H. That's their word. And many of my own people, Judah, Yehuda, are so hard-headed until they think it's only one. And they even believe that they can deliver themselves to the They have that kind of power.
Oh,
That means they are defying John chapter 14. In that chapter that says, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man can come unto the Father but by me. But they think they can do it. Hard-headed. I mean, their heads are so hard until their heads are stuck in neutral. Stuck in neutral.
Come out.
Like a gear shift of a Volkswagen.
lukewarm.
I drove a Volkswagen before, so I know if anyone drove a stick shift, sometimes you get stuck in neutral. The clutch, the gearbox gets stuck like a gear shift. Volkswagens are good for it. A Volkswagen. What else is a Volkswagen called?
Bug.
I thought Beetle.
Beetle. Yeah.
Huh?
Beetle.
Volkswagens are also called Beetle. I'm not making this up. Am I making this up?
Nah.
Sorry.
But my people are stuck. Hard-headed people stuck in neutral like a Volkswagen Beetle. This means that they are being compared to a beetle as a metaphor. I'm going to use this metaphor beetle. Let's let's do something. Let's find out more about these Beatles.
Shame on them.
Oh,
These Volkswagen Beatles. These hard-headed people of Judah
hard.
that are like beetles that are afraid of being eaten. Or did you know that? I know there's a rumor going around that we can eat beetles.
Yeah, yes. It's permissible.
Yeah.
In the law. Lawful. Lawful.
No, I'm not making this up. If you have a dietary law book that Mount Olive wrote, I read it, so I'm not making it up, and I'm not going to lie. I hadn't lied then. I'm not going to lie now.
No time for that.
That's Hillel's job.
Right.
That's his nature to deceive. But there's a rumor going around that Mount Olive wrote in his dietary law book that we can eat beetles. But you don't know the mystery of why he put that in there. In other words, you are the ones that are like a beetle that is afraid of becoming a meal to the devils and the serpent.
Uh-oh.
I said, you and ye are the ones that are afraid. You are like a beetle that is afraid of becoming a meal to the devils and the serpent. Turn to the book called Leviticus chapter 11. Let's break this down for you tonight. Let's reveal this mystery that Mount Olive wrote in that book. Every single word he wrote in those books he wrote, all the books he wrote, I read. And in those books, he was sending a message to his son that was hidden. You're about to read something now that was written in Midrash. You got Leviticus chapter 11?
Yes, sir.
Read verses 21 and 22, someone. Please.
Yet these may ye eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four.
Hold it. Every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four. Every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four. Well, what else?
Which have legs above their feet,
And to what?
to leap withal upon the earth.
Does that make any sense to you? Can you figure this out? Although this is Leviticus chapter 11, it's supposedly telling you your dietary law. Supposedly. But there is a part, especially chapter verse 7.
Right.
We're not supposed to be eating no swine, the pig. We do not eat pig and swine. When you do, then you create problems for yourself.
Yeah.
And
Swell
or
up.
did you, we did that experiment.
Swell up.
I remember when I was in the elementary school, even in the junior school, public, we had a piece of, I think we bought a piece of bacon in that laboratory science lab. And the teacher said, we're going to put it in this jar and close it and put a lid on it. And that jar sat up in that classroom for weeks because she put it in the closet and we didn't open the closet. And in a couple of weeks, when we opened that closet door of a science lab room, and we looked at the jar, worms were crawling inside the jar. They come out the bacon, came out the meat.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind now, the lid was on the jar with no holes in it. Why would you put holes in a jar, on a lid with a piece of meat in it? The worms came out of that meat that was already in the meat.
Right. Well.
And now don't forget the swine, the pig does not have any arteries.
None.
So that means the worms lives inside the pig and cannot be destroyed because the arteries
No filter.
There it is.
can't be killed. And when you fry it, what you do is you're frying worms.
Yep.
And then you digest them.
Try to.
And a swine, a pig has 999 different types of worms and diseases. I didn't say 999 total. That's 999 different types of worms and diseases. And then you eat the swine. That means when you eat the worm, it comes out into your digestive system in your stomach and start crawling around in your body.
Yep.
And then eventually goes and crawls into your heart, gives you heart attacks, creates fat, and eventually crawls up into your brain, it eats your brain cells and causes a stroke. Mine knows, and he hears me right now, and know, ye who know my soul, you know I will not lie to you, and I will never forget this. I always share with you something, that testimony that happened to me when I was a small child. And this is in the Bahamas. And while in the Bahamas during the summer, my aunt, my mother's aunt, fed my brother and I bacon and sausages every morning for breakfast. I was only about 10, 11 years old. He was about 8, 9. All summer, we eating sausages and bacon at their breakfast table. And one day, I had a problem with my stomach. So I went to my aunt, and she knew I had a problem with my stomach, and she told me, she said, well, and then the cousin, her daughter, said, well, he must have worms. I didn't know what they was talking about. Because I felt something crawling, it felt funny. And my cousin said he got worms. So my aunt went out in the field, they had a farm. She went out in the farm and pulled some certain kind of weed off the fence. And she boiled it. Are you hearing me?
Came, my Lord.
She boiled it and she made me drink it. No honey or nothing, just bitter. Made me drink that cup like tea. And after about an hour or so, I had to go to the bathroom. Are you ready for this?
I think I know where it's going.
When I went to the bathroom and got up, before I flushed the toilet, I looked in the toilet with my bowel. And you know what I saw? Worms crawling around in my bowel. In the toilet. White worms. I had worms in my stomach that came out of that meat. They ate all that meat for those weeks in the Bahamas. I had worms and I saw them and it freaked me out. And so much until I called her and I said, look. And she said, I told you had worms. And it was nothing to them. It was like, it's just something that you get. Take a couple of pills, lay down, and you'll be all right tomorrow.
Right.
Natural, it's worms.
Eat a little more tomorrow.
Yeah, and continue to get. I didn't know any better. Bacon and sausage was good, and pork chops.
Yeah, pork chop. Yeah.
Ham on Sunday.
Ham.
Sauce.
I pray that you learn something from this testimony because it's true. When you eat pork, it even gives you gout. Your legs swell up and you can't walk. Your ankles swell up, you get gout. And my when he was here, he told us about elephant legs. You get elephant legs. Yes. You see those they got to walk with a chair, like a wheelchair. Can hardly walk, leaning on the chair, walking. And got legs as big as an elephant. And the toes to match.
Not even 40 years old.
Not even 40 years old.
Not even 40 years old.
And you have people that 40 walk around half the body, dragging the leg from his throat, dragging it. Can hardly talk. The throat is trying to talk. Huh? Yeah, the worms got inside the.
Yeah.
Give him a stroke. How you doing? How you doing? You got to turn your head.
Is it shallow?
How you doing? So what happened to you? I had a stroke.
Oh, no.
And it had nothing to do with swimming either. No backstroke, stroke. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
But this, going back to now verse 21, Leviticus chapter 11, It says again, I'm going to say it. Yet these may ye eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap with all upon the earth. That's all you see. See, what you cannot see is that Yehuda is the fourth tribe.
Wow.
Yehuda is the fourth tribe which have legs above their feet, right to their knees.
Wow.
That they are now using to leap with all others up on the earth. And that's because you think the earth is the structure that's called the planet. In this verse. I got some bad news for you. Because you're getting ready to read verse 22, so I can introduce to you who you are as Beatles.
Wow.
Read verse 22.
Even these of them ye may eat. The locust after his kind.
Hold it. The what?
The locust after his
That's
kind.
exactly what you see in English. The locust. How could the locust be a hiss? Kind. What happened to her?
Yeah. What's over the head?
What happened to her? Are you being biased? You mean we cannot eat a her locust? All you see is locust with two vowels in English.
Right.
After his kind. That means you cannot see the low, L-O-W. Neither could you see the cust, C-U-S-T. All you see is low cust. You don't see L-O-W with waw missing to protect you from eating filth and to protect you from being afraid. You cannot see the waw because they removed the waw. They put two words together. You think of locust in English. L-O-W. You missed that. C-U-S-T. What is C-U-S-T? Oh, you making it up now, Mika Yahweh. Why? Because you never studied C-U-S-T? You think I'm making it up? If you go look it up and study it, you see that C-U-S-T in English is a noun of the law. That means it's an abbreviation. It's an abbreviation for customs.
Right.
As in the customs of the people are vain.
Yes. Yes.
Reverend Jeremiah chapter 2, 10 verse 2. For one cut the tree out of the forest.
Workman.
The workmen of the workman with an axe.
There he is.
The customs,
And the workman.
the C-U-S-T of many, which is the United States. That law, the United States government, Department of Agency authorized to collect taxes, the taxes imposed on imports and goods, imported goods. See, that's your locust.
Wow.
Wow.
Or did you know that?
No, we didn't know that. I don't think we knew that one.
Since when do you think your arm will make you eat locusts? It's a madrash, is a secret code for me to reveal to you and disclose to you the last days. So you will know how you became a beetle and you are now afraid and hard-headed.
Definitely.
Well, what about the cuss? Here you know now, C-U-S-T. It's also the abbreviation for custody. 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 You've been in their custody. Not only that, you've been low in their custody for over 465 years. Low custody. So you thought it was locust. Why? Because you are stuck on their vowels. You're stuck on their vowels. Not your vowels, your vowels. Their vowels. If you were stuck on your vowels, you would know not to eat locusts.
Right.
Or pigs. Or pigs.
Or pigs. You are stuck on their A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y.
Got him.
I repeat, You are stuck on the A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, and all six are symbols
Right.
with a certain meaning. All six are symbols of a certain meaning and names and words. In so much until you cannot even see that you've been blinded.
The custom.
You've been blinded and you cannot even see me.
Mm-hmm.
I know some still cannot see me. They say they don't know who I am.
Right here with you.
Look at them, can't even see me.
Right here with you.
They looking at your body.
Ye cannot even see that it is me saying, here I am, as A, Adam, of the E, East, as I, my oneself, who is the O as the symbol of the earth that is here for you, Y-O-U, to bring you the truth. And sometimes it is the I, the Y, that stands for your Ab, also known as Yahweh. Reference Daniel chapter 12, verse 1.
Wow.
A-E-I-O-U. Sometimes Y.
Yeah, sometimes, right? Oh, God.
A, Adam, E, East, I, my oneself, O as the earth, the symbol of the earth, and you, Y-O-U, and sometimes it's your God, Yahweh,
Got him.
who's teaching you.
Yeah, dog.
That's standing up for you as your and I stand up for you too.
Praise
Standing for Yahweh.
Archangel.
Read on and complete that. And the what?
And the bald locust after his kind.
What? When have you ever heard of a bald locust?
Never.
What is that?
What did you do that? What is this?
It stands for those who are bald and cut off their hair today.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
It stands for those who are bald locusts.
Crazy.
Bald and low in the custody of the devil.
Oh, hey.
Got him going and coming.
Got him.
And the beetle after his kind.
Wait now. The beetle after his kind. Why his kind
Mm.
and not her kind? Here we go being biased again.
Right.
See, this beetle is a metaphor that came from the Hebrew word known as kareg.
Uh-oh. Come on.
Kareg.
Mm-mm.
It's spelled from right to left. Keth, Resh, Gimel. Kareg. And you know what it means? Here is what it means. It means to shake from fear, tremble, and quake. That produced the English word known as beetle.
Wow.
And here's your reference number. Strong's H 2727.
2727.
As in October 27 and September 27.
Oh, look at Yahweh. Mm-mm.
Both.
Oh, even out.
B-O-T-H.
Tread down. Tread down.
You thought your want you to eat beetles. It's a message.
Yes. Encoded.
He even put dietary law.
Cryptic. Yeah.
That law is a custom of the devil.
Custom.
Too.
Wow. Good. Oh, out.
And read on it. What else? And the what?
And the grasshopper
And the
after
grasshopper.
his kind.
Right.
Hopper bread.
You got that? This, see, all you see now is grasshopper. Why grasshopper? I thought a locust was a grasshopper. I thought a grasshopper was a locust. So what's this grasshopper? This is the same grasshopper of Genesis chapter 1, verse 12.
Wow.
After his kind.
God.
I'll read it again for those who may have forgotten. Genesis chapter 1, verse 12 says, I quote, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Yehovah saw that it was good. And now you know why it was good, that you can no longer eat it no more. No, it was good for you to think it was something. It was good, but it's not.
Yeah.
Even on the third day.
Nasty.
But what Yehovah did not promise or reveal to ye and you was who he was going to rise on the third day. Let's back to this recording. Turn back to Genesis chapter 1 again for a moment. I would like for you to read verse 14. Let's break it down again. Read verse 14 again.
And Yehovah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Mm-hmm.
And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years.
When we see those lights, we're going to go out there after this and we're going to see some more lights.
Praise Yehovah.
Praise Yehovah.
Praise Yehovah.
Read verse 15, please. And let them what?
And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth.
Uh-huh.
And it was so.
Verse 16.
And Yehovah made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also.
Right away, they say that's the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So on your paper, you should write M-O-O-N. You should have did it earlier.
Really good.
Write M-O-O-N. You're still going to see Mem. And you're going to see the sun, the planet, and the N.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see 13 and 14. Why do you think they put the book called Nahum after the book called Micah? You got Micah and then Nahum. You got 13 and 14. And although Micah, the M is the 13th Hebrew alphabet, why did they put Micah as book number 13 in the Bible? Huh? I'll explain to you in a moment why. Hey, this has nothing to do with the moon. That lesser light is not the moon to rule the night. The lesser light is noon to rule the night because you have a lesser mind than dark. So you have to read and come onto you at different levels. He made the stars also. Read verse 17, please. You know why we did what? Set them what?
Yehovah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth,
Verse 18.
and to rule over the day and over the night,
Mm-hmm.
and to divide the light from the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And Yehovah saw that it was good.
Right. And what else?
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
Now here we go with the fourth day. The foundation. Turn to the next chapter and read chapter 2, verse 1.
Thus the heavens and the
Now all of
earth.
a sudden you have heavens.
Plural.
But in chapter 1, verse 1, you read heaven. Now that proves to ye that what I was telling you, you became as the second day. It became the heavens. That proves it. Even after verse 26 of chapter 1. Let's create man our own image.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, what else?
And on the seventh day, God, Yehovah ended his work which he had made.
Right. Now, read verse 7.
And Yehovah formed man of the dust
I'm
of
sorry.
the ground.
Go to verse 6 and read that so you can see what happened to the ground.
Came a little.
Uh-huh.
But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground.
This earth watered all of your minds.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you water. That's going back to chapter 1. Dividing the waters from the waters in the firmament. And watered the whole face of the ground. And when that happened, read on what else happened.
And Yehovah formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And man became a living soul. flesh. That means this man also, by becoming a living soul in his body, he had blood.
Right.
Right? That means all of a sudden now the moon is turned to blood.
Got him.
No.
The MOON is now turned to blood in the last days, as I promised it would. You wouldn't know it until I reveal it to let you know how the moon turned to blood
Oh, gosh.
in the last days. That means Mem, the sun, the earth, and the moon now turned to blood, was made flesh. And so much into this blood type, again, was
negative.
O
Negative.
negative. In other words, the same man is Adam.
Adam.
Adam means blood.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, it
yes.
does.
Well, the man turned to blood. The moon turned to blood.
Praise your name.
I am Adam, the first. And I'm also the last Adam.
Here at the end.
So how did I get this body? Remember John 1:1, easy. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and the Word was Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And in verse 14, and the Word was made flesh and became blood. The moon, M-O-O-N. Since when does an English word or a Hebrew word begins with two or have two doubles O's in it, and you connect those two O's together, stand them up, it becomes 8, infinity. Yeah, put those two zeros together, stand it straight up, it becomes 8. An infinitive number, no beginning, no end. So how did I get this body? Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupts good manners. Turn to 1 Corinthians now, chapter 15.
Wow.
Let's show you that I'm the first Adam and the last. The first Adam I became I was formed of the dust of the ground. It became flesh. This time I was born flesh already,
Right.
but then I became a quickened spirit.
Dang. Yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 15. Someone read beginning at verse 33, as in the 33rd
There
book
it is.
of the Bible called Micah.
Be not deceived.
What?
Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So what must they do? Continue, verse 34. What?
Awake to righteousness
And do what?
and sin not.
Why?
For some have not the knowledge of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
You got that right. And what you do?
I speak this to your
They
shame.
should be ashamed. They should be ashamed. See, some are going to wake up to everlasting life, but some to shame and everlasting contempt. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2.
There it is.
Read verse 35, please.
But some man will say, how are the dead raised up?
See, they don't know. Those walking in darkness.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And with what body do they come?
See?
So,
Read verse 36.
there it is.
Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die.
Yes. But what?
And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain.
I put both of those grains in that prophetic cryptogram in the book called Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. There's wheat and the barley, which is the grain.
There it is.
Right? A measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of meal
That's,
for a penny, of barley
that's
for a penny.
mm-hmm.
That's the other grain,
Right.
hidden. But verse 38 says what? But what?
But Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh giveth it a body as it hath pleased
He
him.
gave every seed, no wheat, and those barleys a body, human form. And people think because we are human form that we are like them. That's why they forgot to detain us.
Mm-hmm. Left us there.
Think that we're like them
Mm-hmm. No smoke.
because we are bodies. You're the seed of your arm. You're the Wafe, children. You are Elohims
Yes, sir.
from another planet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Amazing.
Hebrew, far from beyond. Hebrew.
That's it.
And to what?
Mike,
And to every seed his own body.
Now prove it. Read verse 39.
there it is.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
So why you think we're like you?
There you go. There you go. Boy, you gonna turn up.
But what?
But there is one kind of flesh of men,
Yes.
Another of what?
another flesh of beasts,
And all
There you go.
both walks on two legs.
Uh,
Another of what?
another of fishes,
Uh-huh.
and another of birds.
Right. However,
yeah, come on.
with Mem, which is the number value of 40
Yeah.
of Mem, there is what?
There are also celestial bodies
Celestial bodies.
and bodies terrestrial.
You got that right. And we ain't talking about, we ain't speaking of no stars or no nothing of that stuff.
You are the
Celestial
stars.
bodies.
We are the stars.
Yes, sir.
You're the stars from heaven. Of heaven.
Praise you, Lord. Yes, we are.
Let's go back to Genesis chapter 1.
Yes, sir.
And another what?
But the glory of the celestial is one,
Uh-huh.
and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
So do not confuse us to be a part of you.
There you go. Come out of her.
Why? Because there is one, what?
Glory of the sun.
That should be S-O-N.
Yes, sir.
Come out of her.
One glory of the Son who was here from the beginning, in the beginning, and another glory of the moon that turns to blood at the end.
Wow. Well, the moon can.
They look at this at night that revolves around this planet. They think it's a moon. Show me moon in the Hebrew Bible. Hebrew moon, M-O-O-N. Another glory of what?
And another glory of the
Ye are the
stars.
stars of heaven. Why? Because what?
For one star differed from another star in glory.
You got that right. So what?
So also is the resurrection of the
You've
dead.
been resurrected as stars. Mm-hmm.
It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
Right. Read verse 43.
It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory.
Yes. Keep reading.
It is sown in weakness.
But what?
It is raised in
The
power.
most powerful knowledge of peace in existence is what?
It is sown a natural body.
But what?
It is raised a spiritual body.
You got that right. And there is what?
There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body.
Right. Why? Because what? 45.
So it is written,
That what?
the first man Adam was made a living soul,
From Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And what?
and the last man Adam, or the last Adam, was made a quickening spirit.
Right. The spirit of truth.
There it is. Got it. Got it.
Verse 46. Read the verse 48.
Howbeit, that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural,
Wow. Uh-huh. Read on.
and afterward that which is spiritual.
Why? Because what?
The first man is of the earth.
Right. He's the earth.
Got it.
Earthy.
Man.
Right.
That's it.
I told you, the earth. Earthy. And the what?
The second man is Elohim from heaven,
Right. Remember your covenant warfare. As is what?
as is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy.
Didn't I tell you you're also earth?
Sure is. Such is it.
And what?
And as is the heavenly,
Right.
such are they also that are heavenly.
Didn't I tell you? Verse 49 and 50.
And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Wow. You speaking to of yourself now. Verse 50.
Now this I say, brethren,
See who you're speaking to?
Brethren.
That what?
that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Elohim,
Right. But what?
neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Verse 51, please.
Behold, I shew you a mystery.
I did. I sure did tonight.
Show this.
Why? You sure what?
We shall not all sleep,
But what?
but we shall all be changed.
Right.
There it is. Right there. Hey,
That's the mystery.
there it is.
You thought you were human.
Mm.
You thought you were like everybody else. Terrestrial. But you're not terrestrial. You're celestial.
That's it.
How long will it take?
In a moment,
Really? And what else?
in the twinkling of an eye.
And all this is going to happen with the last president of this country.
Wow.
At the last trump.
At the last,
That's
what?
There it is.
At the last trump.
Right.
That's the goal. Gotta go. Right
For
there.
what?
for the trumpet shall sound.
Every day on CNN News
Yes, sir. You
and on Fox.
yeah.
And what's going to happen when he sounds?
And the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Right. What?
And we shall be changed.
Right.
Wow.
Praise the Lord.
Praise
You
God.
got that right. As we begin to close, you got to close. Go to Joel chapter 2.
Oh,
I have a special message for all the beasts of the field and for the trees bearing fruit. Come right now from Genesis chapter 1. Here's a special message. I'm going to begin at verse 22.
yes, sir.
I'm leaving you with this message and with this revelation. Yoel, your God, your Elohim, your Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is God. That's what this word means. Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is God. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit. See, now you have her instead of his. Because here we are at the last day with the sun-clad woman.
There he is, sun-clad.
The fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, even those of the lion. And rejoice in Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, your Elohim.
That's right.
For he hath given you the former rain moderately.
There it is.
The former rain was in Genesis. Remember?
Mhm.
The water. And he will cause to come, or he will cause to bring down for you the rain, even the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. And the floors shall be full of wheat, of Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. And the vat shall overflow with wine and oil. See, thou heard not the oil and the wine.
Right.
Of Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts, that those who were low in custody have eaten. All those of the custom agents that ate you that were low. And the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. See, those are people. They're not insects. All those are those who are of the Gentiles and the devils. That's who that is. Be quiet, because your arm sent them among you. And ye shall eat in plenty.
Yes.
And be satisfied.
Yes.
And praise the name Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh,
Praise.
Praise.
your Elohim, that have dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, your Elohim, and none else. See, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed.
That's right.
And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And he did. He's doing that. And your sons, your Beth Nusophi and your Bath Nusophi, your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And you're doing that.
That's it.
You even tell me of them.
All the time.
And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids. In those days, when I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, as he did, and he couldn't see. He was in dark, and Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh became a light unto me. As I sit in darkness, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh should be a light unto me. Let's be chapter 7, verse 8. It's there. That's S-O-N. And the moon, the same mem on earth as the sun, even at noon, will become into blood, and turn into blood. Into blood. See, not turn to, into, which means he was already in there. The blood was already in him. It was already there. Before the great and terrible day of Yunawaf come. I mean, he would have to tell you this the last day before he come and reveal to you the mystery of the moon into blood. Moon to blood. Now let's prove it. Turn to Revelation for a moment as I read chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Don't forget, I just read in Joel, about a great wonder. I will show wonders in the heavens and earth, right? That's verse 30 of Joel chapter 2, right? Okay, now I'm going to read verse 1 of Revelation chapter 12, chapter 12, verse 1. That says, I quote, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, as I revealed to you and disclosed to you, of the moon turned to blood into blood. A woman clothed with the sun.
There you go.
That's the mystery of Joel. And the moon under her feet that turned into blood.
Got him.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Got him.
And she being with child, Yehuda, travailed in birth and pain to be delivered, both her and the children. Now go back to Joel chapter 2. That's the mystery and the connection. Verse 32, I read the last verse, 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh
That's it.
shall be delivered as she wants to be delivered with child. Of Revelation chapter 12, verse 2.
Say the name right.
For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, which means what? The teacher of peace, shall be deliverance. As Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh has said, and the remnant whom Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh shall call. End quote. End of verse 32.
Praise your head.
Praise God. We want to thank those who joined us tonight. As I have now, during these last days, revealed the mystery of the moon, of the sun, turn the darkness, and the moon into blood. And here all these years, the theologians of the world, the astrologers of the world, looking for this moon to turn into blood. And sometimes you think you see a red moon, you see red. What you see is the hot reflection of the sun, how hot it is. And so much it's so hot until the heat shines on the sun, reflects on the moon, on the moon. So we're going to invite those to join us again next week if it's our will, or next Wednesday night if it's his will. We may just go to the phone line and say shalom to those, just let them know that we praise our army. Say Todah to him for allowing them to call in, join us, as well as those we said to those online. We certainly appreciate it. We want to say Todah to ye for joining us, and to for them to allow you to do so. So, as I mentioned, if it's his will, we'll be on again next week. And we're going to invite you to join us on social media live stream, YouTube, recording. And the title of this again is what? The Bloody Moon.
Bloody moon.
Yes.
Praise.
Let's go now to praise Lord. Psalm 47.
Joyful Lord. Joyful Lord.
That's Psalm 47.
That's
So let's go to